Hello and welcome to Cars Like Your Car Brochure channel, and in today's episode it's the turn of the Hyundai Stellar. Hello and welcome back, and if you're new to Cars Like, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. So if you're interested in cars and car brochures, please consider subscribing. Anyway, back to today's episode, the 1980s Hyundai Stellar. So let's jump straight into it and have a look at that now. So here it is, the Hyundai Stellar. This particular brochure actually doesn't have any sort of date on there, but the Stellar in the UK, and this is a UK brochure, ran from 1984 to 1991. And this is talking about things such as the 1.6L having a 4-speed box, and it also mentions the GSL spec, which was the highest spec at the time, but kind of like implies that this is one of the earlier brochures, so we're going to plump for like 1985, somewhere around there this particular brochure would be. Sometimes referred to actually as the Korean Cortina, because really this is effectively an evolution of the Mark IV, Mark V Ford Cortina. So I guess in a way, if the Ford Sierra when it came out was too much of a jelly mold style, too much of a futuristic rounded look for you, there was always the Hyundai Stellar, and this really particularly sold on price at this time. Reasonably large car actually, sort of a Sierra sized car for the price of an Escort, so I can understand why a few people would have bought this, and of course Hyundai have gone from strength to strength since then. And of course quite a conservative styled car compared to the Sierra. These were designed by Giugiaro of Ital Design. Anyway, let's open the brochure up and have a look inside. So as we open the page up, it's one of the smaller brochures. We're straight into the centre pages, only effectively 4 sides on this brochure. The main image is showing the top of the range model, the GSL 1.6. These early ones you can only get it as a 1.6 litre engine, which is, I guess, relatively small size of engine for the size of the car, but nevertheless it's not unlike Cavaliers and Sierras also used 1.6s for their base models. Anyway, we'll start by looking at some of the text and then we'll look at some of the images. So it starts by saying the new Hyundai Stellar offers quite astonishing value, and again using the word the new Hyundai Stellar, implying it's one of the early ones. Like I say, in the UK the Stellar came in 84, so it is probably from 84-85, this particular brochure. No other car combines such engineering excellence, spacious comfort and lavish luxury at such an affordable price. Hyundai quality is recognised the world over. Sophisticated robotics, state-of-the-art quality control procedures and a wealth of technological resources guarantee it. Classic in its elegant design, the Stellar is a truly spacious family car with lounge room for 5 adults and a huge boot that swallows holiday luggage or sports gear with equal ease. Okay, so there are 3 Stellar models: the surprisingly well-equipped L, the even more luxurious SL, and the quite magnificent GSL, which boasts such standard major features as central locking, all-round electric windows and a 4-speaker stereo radio cassette. There's an overhead camshaft engine, the 1597cc, teamed respectively with a 4 or 5-speed gearboxes, and like I said, the L had that 4-speed at this time. You can also opt for fully automatic transmission. Other engineering features such as rack and pinion steering, power assisted disc drum brakes and an advanced suspension system are standard on every model. And then we get to a few little images. I guess this is showing the electric windows and the electric window switches, and I guess this is kind of weirdly demonstrating the central locking, and of course the electric windows all round. Central locking there would have been on the top model, of course. It goes on to say, from the Stellar's GSL's fully adjustable driver's seat, there's much to admire. Full instrumentation including a rev counter, digital clock, and a battery of warning lights. A lockable illuminated glove box, 4-speed heating and ventilation system, smart central console with gated gear shift, handy map pockets, remote control door mirror, and much more. No other car in this price range offers so many driver features. As for your passengers, the Stellar pampered them with colour-coordinated luxury and comfort. The GSL features include rich cloth seat coverings, wall-to-wall carpeting, and, in the rear compartment, individual reading lamps, a centre armrest with concealed cubby box, and a separate heating duct to take the chill out of winter journeys. There is a little bit of a look at the GSL's AM/FM stereo radio cassette, and the rear folding armrest with even a little space to keep things in the rear centre armrest on the GSL. And this will be the GSL as well, these rather nice looking rich cloth seats, I think it describes it as, doesn't it? Rich cloth seat coverings and wall-to-wall carpeting. All the nice stuff. It concludes by saying, no wonder Hyundai cars are already a big name in North America and are fast overtaking the competition in 60 other world markets, including Britain. High-value cars like the Stellar make sense in any language. And a little bit of a zoom in on this main image, we can see the Hyundai Stellar badge and the 1.6 GSL, yes, the top of the range. And the rest of it there as well. So it didn't look like any sort of wow, groundbreaking design, of course, but it wasn't a bad looking car, and certainly the price was right. A little bit of a front image there as well. Back page now, where we'll zoom in and have a look at the equipment and the full specifications. So we start with the equipment, and the first category it talks about is the comfort and convenience features. And we're looking at the 3 trim levels, the L, the SL, and the top of the range GSL. So the black dot is simply meaning that's what it has. So it says the AM stereo radio cassette, the central locking, the electric windows front and rear. They are just for the top of the range models. Side window demisters, heated rear windows that are on all the models. Intermittent wipers with link wash wipe on the top 2. 2-speed wipers on them all. Automatic boot lock on the bottom 2. Locking fuel filler flap on them all. Rev counter on the top 2. Trip recorder and a temperature gauge on all the models. And a door ajar warning light on them all as well. We also get day-night rear view mirror on them all, sun visor, vanity mirror on them all, lockable illuminated glove box on the top 2, front door mat pockets on the top 2, cargo aerial light on them all, overhead courtesy light on them all, rear reading light on the top 2, illuminated cigar lighter ashtray on them all, grab handles, driver's footrests, rear footwell heating ducts on all the models. Exterior features: plastic full wheel covers just for the top model. That's an unusual one, isn't it? No, so we're not going to say we've got alloy wheels on the top model, no, just full wheel covers. Dual remote control rear view mirrors on the top model, body side protective mouldings, anti-corrosion treatment on them all, grey bumpers for the base model, colour keyed bumpers for the top 2. Argent front grille, front and rear mud flaps, halogen headlamps on them all, and then we've got headlamp wash on the top model, that's interesting, and then metallic paint is an optional item. Just had to have another little peep at them. They kind of do look like alloy wheels, don't they? But this is the top of the range model that has, and it is the only one that's got these wheel trims on them with the little Hyundai logo. And like the headlamp wash must be on them little overriders there. And then we've got the interior features, so they've all got reclined front bucket seats. The top model though has driver's seat tilt adjuster and driver's seat lumbar adjuster. Integral rear seat headrest just for the top models, top 2. Cloth facings for the bottom 2 models. and then the full cloth seat upholstery for the top of the range. Front seat belts, rear seat belts on all the models, floor carpeting, needle punch on the bottom two models, floor carpeting, needle punch on the top model. I don't really understand that, but obviously it's a better quality carpeting on the top model. Carpeted cargo aerial on all the models, vinyl door trim base model, luxury door trim with cloth inserts on the top two models, and the armrest front and rear surprisingly on all the models. And this is a little bit confusing. So we've got armrest front and rear on all the models, but a rear centre armrest just on the top models, and the oddment box just on that very top of the range model. Full centre console on the top models, analog quartz clock on the middle model, digital quartz clock on the top of the range, child safety, rear door locks on them all, formed vinyl headlining on the bottom two models. Top of the range gets cloth headlining. And then we get to the technical specifications. So the engine, 4-cylinder inline 1.6 or 1597 cc engine, 74 bhp at 5,200 revs per minute. Fuel, star capacity 3. Remember when there was a star ratings on the different fuel pumps? And well, there you go. Star rating is 3 on this particular model. And confirmation of the transmission. So the manual 4-speed is on the L, the base model, manual 5-speed on the SL and GSL, automatic is a GSL option, and there are rear wheel drive. Steering is of course rack and pinion with a collapsible column. Suspension front, we've got independent McPherson struts with integral damping anti-roll bar. Rear, it looks like a 5-link with unequal pitch coil springs plus gas filled dampers and anti-roll bar. Brakes, we've got ventilated discs at the front and drums at the back, tyres, steel radials, wheels, load capacities, and what else have we got there? External dimensions, all of them are difficult just to read on camera. We've got the weights there as well. The SGL just shows how much heavier that top of the range model is to the base model. That's quite surprising, isn't it? At the bottom here, Hyundai Cars That Make Sense. Hyundai Car Distributors UK Limited, West Brom in the West Midlands. This is where your dealer stamp would have been, of course, and usually most brochures have got a date around here, but like I say, it's going to be an early one, 84, 85, somewhere around there, I think. So there we go, the Hyundai Stellar. I do believe actually somebody in Wales actually threw a V8 Rover engine in one of these and left the badge in as a 1.6. It would have been the top of the range model. Interesting conversion for sure. But if you remember these Hyundai Stellars, please jot it in the comments. Always interested to read your personal experiences. Me, I think they were okay for the price. I think they were priced right. And of course, Hyundai have just gone from strength to strength, haven't they? Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Many more episodes coming up in the near future, so please do like and subscribe. I hope the lead up to Christmas is going well for you. All the best, take care, and goodbye.